afternoon, everyone. I, Arman Roy from FIPI PDEU Student Chapter, welcome you to the C2C podcast, where we bring insights from industry professionals to help bridge the gap between campus and corporate life. Our guest for today is Mr. Shayantan Shivam Chakravorty, who is a UPES alumni and is currently working at ExxonMobil as a reservoir engineer. Once again, I, as a host and on behalf of FIPI PDEU, welcome you to the podcast.
Thanks, Arman.
Today, we will be talking about the transition from student life to the professional world, the value of CGPA versus skills, the role of internships, and how students can stay adaptable and industry ready in a constantly evolving sector. Now, let me come to the questions. Sir, as we know that you are an alumni of UPS, can you walk us through a transition from being a student at UPS to stepping into the corporate world? What did that shift feel like mentally and emotionally?
Sure. I think that's a great question, Arman. Of course, when we step out of our undergraduate life and enter the corporate world, there's a transition, there's an emotional aspect to it, there's a mental aspect to it. And for me, this transition was smooth because what I tried to do was I tried to prepare myself during the undergraduate years so that when I step into the corporate shoes, it becomes easier. Now, what you all are doing here, part of a student chapter, that's exactly where I was at during my undergraduate life as well. Being a part of a student chapter is something that makes this transition much, much easier. You already know how to deal with deadlines. You know how to speak with people when you reach out to them. You have a network for yourself within the corporate sphere before even entering it. So, my advice to everyone who is listening to this would be that try to become a part of a student chapter so that you understand what it feels like for whenever you actually have to go out into the real world and work with companies. The transition became easier for me this way, and I hope it becomes easier for you as well.
So, thank you, sir, for your perspective on this. Coming to the next question, many students worry a lot about their GPA. In your opinion, how important is CGPA in placements and overall career success?
That's a good question, and I think that has always been a very controversial question for everyone who is pursuing a BTech or masters as well. I guess, especially in our country. In my opinion, it is important to have a let's call it nice GPA, because if you do not have a nice GPA, you don't firstly qualify for most of the companies. So I'm not asking you all to have a nine pointer for sure, or life would end if you do not have a nine pointer. But I think to have a great GPA does not just indicate the fact that you are good in academics, but also gives an idea about discipline. If you can navigate your way through multiple deadlines, multiple assignments, and the late nighters that we all engineers pull off day in, day out, a good GPA is a testament to that. And I think it's something that won't just help you make the list for placements, but it's something that will stay with you forever. So the aim should not be to be first in the class. The aim should be to just understand each and every subject properly. Especially if you are a petroleum engineer, we have subjects which are not that popular in the greater scheme of things. But if you understand each and every subject properly, if you aspire to work as a professional, I think that's going to help a lot. And uh, exams, your mid sems, your end sems are just a test for it. Not every day is a great day, but having a good GPA indicates the fact that you were disciplined during this journey. You studied hard. You took every test very seriously, and that's why that number came up. So I think, I mean, short answer would be yes, it is important. It's a number that stays with you forever till the day you die. Why not make it good?
Thank you, sir. Building on this, I would like to ask how crucial were internships in shaping your understanding of the energy sector? Any specific learning or experience that stood out? I think the audience would love to know your perspective on this.
Sure. I think that's a good question as well. So I was a part of the notorious COVID batch. while I was doing my engineering. Internships did not really exist for when we were in our penultimate year or in our second year. However, I can share a story here which I think would help everyone. When I was in my freshman year, we had this company called Kongsberg visit our campus for an event, and it was a paper presentation competition. Now, everyone who had participated was probably in their final year or third year at most. I was the only one who was a freshman, but still, I thought, let's give this a shot. I was doing something with my friends on IoT, and I thought this might be a good platform for it. So we presented, and we ended up winning the competition. Now, what's bigger than that is the organizer or the country head at that time who had visited representing Kongsberg had a conversation with me right after the competition ended, and her advice to me was I should just keep doing what I'm doing, and when I'm in my third year and looking for internships, I should try to reach out to her. Things changed a lot. This was 2019, 2020 is when COVID struck. All internships stopped. There was no possibility of being physically present in an office to an internship. This person that I'm talking about, they switched jobs and ended up at Wood PLC. It's an organization that's known for flow assurance and process engineering consultancy. I still reached out to her. I asked that, hey, you had asked me to reach out when I'm in my third year. I understand COVID is on, but if there's an internship opportunity, I would like to be a part of it. And since she had committed to me at that time, she somehow arranged an internship for me. I think that was the very first time Wood PLC ever hired an intern, and I don't think there's been any more interns after that. But that's the only internship. I mean, that's the only proper core internship experience that I have from that time. So my conclusion of sharing or the intent of sharing this story is that these competitions that happen when we have people visiting from different companies to our campus, they happen for a reason. You get to build your network with people who are at the very top of their companies. Take those competitions very seriously and those opportunities to network with them very seriously. You never know what happens in life. I mean, the world is going through a very tough phase once again in a lot of aspects. You never know what's going to happen next year. You don't know if we are going to be in recession once again, if jobs are going to be there or not. That's the point when networking saves you. So internship is definitely very, very crucial to just groom you for whenever you're ready for your final job, and just leverage and make the most of these opportunities for whenever your university is conducting an event like that. That's what helped me, and I would advise everyone to just have a plan ready for their second, third, and fourth year. I did three internships when I was doing engineering. I I was open to all kinds of work. I did content writing for an energy company. I did research for a research company, a startup, and I worked as a flow assurance intern with Wood. So I was always open to all kinds of internships. Never say no to an opportunity because those lines on your resume are what you actually talk about when you sit for interviews.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful response on that. Moving on, what were some of the most valuable lessons that you took from your college years, both inside and outside the classroom?
I think the biggest lesson that I was able to draw, which I did not realize at that time, is discipline. So you talked about classroom. We struggle to make 75% attendance, right? Now, there's a reason why that 75% figure exists. It does not exist to check if you can just wake up on time every morning, beat your laziness, and show up to class. It exists to create this thing called discipline. There's no 75% rule when you start working. It's either 100% or you take vacation leaves. So I think the biggest thing that I learned through those 4 years was discipline. In my very first year, I was like, hey, why do I have to go to college every day? They're teaching me physics and chemistry once again. I spent 2 years studying that. But there was a reason for it. The reason was discipline. Being present in the classes to ask the right kind of questions. You may already know your answer to that question that you're asking, But that conversation with your faculty, I think that enriches your understanding of that topic, helps you deepen your understanding of that topic. So that's one lesson that I learned. Treat attending classes a bit more seriously. I don't think that's something that we really like to do. But for a change, try to beat laziness and attend the classes. I can guarantee you that it's going to help you in the future. It's going to pay out. That's one lesson that I learned in the classroom. Outside of the classroom, what I learned is that you get university life only once. If you are someone like me who has, I just want to pursue one degree. I did that, and I have no plans of doing a master's or anything. So university life was just once for me. I would say outside of your classroom, have as much fun as possible. You are not going to get those days back. When I say fun, I don't mean indulge in things that you should not be doing, but for sure, make the most of those 4 years, 3 years, or 5 years, whatever it is that you're into. Uh, those days are not going to come back.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure the audience learned a lot from that. Coming to the next question, today's industry is constantly evolving. How do you personally stay adaptable and continuously relevant?
That's a good question. I think there's a lot of changes that have come to our industry or any industry in general with the advent of AI. There was a wave of digitization 5 years ago. There was a wave of big data 5 years prior to that. Now we are in the AI phase. I think consistently trying to upskill yourself in this process is very, very crucial. What I can tell you all with what I'm observing right now, the world is moving towards data. So if you can upskill yourself, learn a language, or maybe just try to understand what's happening in the data world, it is going to help you while when you enter the professional world. It's for sure going to improve your candidature for whenever you're ready to participate in interviews. We as an industry have a lot of data available to us. However, we have always worked with that data in an orthodox way. We have a century's worth of data in the oil and gas industry that's very unstructured, that's all over the place, and has been, as I said, has been done in a way which is very, very orthodox. That gives us a huge opportunity to work with that data, sanitize it, derive insights out of it. And I think our industry is the best industry to just be a hands-on data person. If you know a language, if you understand the larger scheme of things, how data translates into insights. So if I did not do this, and I still regret it. But if you are in your second or third year or even first year, try to maybe learn a language. Try to just play with open data sets that's available on the internet. Equinor has released an entire data set of from one of their fields. So if you have learned a language, if you know something on how to derive insights from it, try to play with that, because that's not just going to increase your understanding of our subjects, but it'll also make you marketable for when you sit for placements. So yes, a shorter answer to your question, Arman, would be that our industry is evolving just like any other industry, but our industry gives you the best possible opportunity to leverage any new skill that you've picked up on.
Thank you, sir, for your insight. The next question, which I would like to ask, is: do you believe students should explore beyond their core branch? More specifically, what's the role of a broader exposure in petroleum focused career?
I think what I have seen, what I've observed nowadays is that even if you are a petroleum engineer, it does not restrict you within the boundaries of, hey, you can only become a drilling, reservoir, or production engineer. Nowadays, the way different organizations are looking at talent, it's not just based on your degree. As I said, the industry is evolving. If you learn a language or two, if you pick up a new skill or two, maybe do something in project management, do something different. It is going to help you in some way. Our industry at this moment in our country is in the best shape right now. If I'm not wrong, there's multiple organizations that are out in the market looking for technical people, but there's a lot of organizations in the market who are also looking for non-technical people. So if you want to be an analyst, if you want to go towards research analysis. If you want to become a market analyst, those opportunities are open. So be be open to that, but plan ahead. You should be very clear about what you want to do in your second year, I guess, at most, extend it till your second year. If you're sure about being a technical person, becoming a reservoir drilling or production engineer, then just work towards it. If you are sure that you don't want to do anything to do with the oil and gas, core oil and gas industry, start focusing on that particular skill that you have picked up. Let's say you want to get into software development, be very clear about that, invest your time heavily behind that. I know a friend who is a petroleum, he's a very dear friend of mine. He did petroleum engineering with me, but he was very clear about not having to do anything with engineering. He he went into machine learning and data science, became an expert in it, and he now works as a machine learning engineer, just like any other computer science engineer. So that's just one story. There's millions of similar stories in different industries as well. But m- yeah, I mean, be open to change. If you like something and are passionate about something, then try to go for it early.
Thank you, sir. Building on that, how important is it for students to explore different roles, electives, or interests before settling on a long term path?
Yeah, I think that's kind of something that I shared already. It's very important to focus on your electives. I think most universities, at least to the best of my knowledge in the petroleum engineering domain, offer a lot of electives outside of petroleum engineering. I think that's our opportunity to make it big, to understand what's happening outside of the four walls of petroleum engineering. So I would say be mindful and strategic about picking those electives because they might feed into how the kind of professional you end up becoming after 4 years. So we have this elective called design thinking. We used to have this in UPS. I'm not sure if the other universities offer it or not, but it helps people think from a different perspective, think outside of the box. These are skills that would be required in a technical or non-technical profession. So I would say be very serious about these electives. Do not restrict yourselves to the content that's provided from the university. Maybe dig in deeper. We have ChatGPT now. We have so many other tools to just broaden our understanding. I did not get that, but I mean, since you have those tools, I would say leverage it and make the most out of it.
Thank you, sir. Coming to the next question, what was your strategy during placement season? Any tips on how to stay focused and competitive without burning out? I'm sure the
Yeah.
audience will curious about this.
Yeah, that's a great question, Arman. Now, I don't want to boast, but I did not get burned out during placement season because I got placed with the first company that came to our campus. But since I was a part of the placement committee as well, I have seen the multitude of emotions that people go through in that time. I have seen people regretting not preparing themselves through the first 3 years of the university, and they were like, "Hey, if I did not, if I took this thing seriously, I would not have to worry right now." So, if you are in your second or first year, start worrying now, so that you don't have to end up worrying in your fourth year. My advice would be the break that we get before placement season starts, the time that you do your internships, that is when you should focus on your aptitudes. If you do not clear your aptitude round, you're not going to get to even showcase your skills, showcase your understanding. So that's the first thing that you need to crack. If you have been a disciplined student, I'm sure you will have some understanding of the subjects that have been taught, and questions that are asked in interviews during campus placements are very simple. They will ask you something like, "What's Darcy's law?" You should know what that is if you are sitting for placement. So throughout the first 3 years, try to first deepen your understanding of every subject. Stick with the basics. Stick with basic questions, and focus on aptitude as well. A lot of very very good candidates I've seen falling out, not making it to interview rounds just because of aptitude. They did not pay a lot of attention to it. Focus on verbal quants, everything that happens, and focusing on aptitude gives you another opportunity. If you see that placements are not going great, you have the option to write cat or any other similar test, and you never know, your life might take a turn. It might take you to an MBA. But I would say don't ignore aptitude, don't ignore the basic questions, and maybe practice speaking a lot. I think communication skills are very highly valued in campus placements, because when recruiters come to the campus, they're not looking for someone with uh, an SME level of expertise in anything. They're looking for people who are, number one, who know how to talk, two, are very trainable. So showcase yourself as if you're very, very interested to learn, you're curious to learn, and you're trainable. I don't know if that's a trait that you can impose on yourself, but you can surely prepare towards it. Try to be curious about everything. If recruiters see that in you, they know that, hey, even if he answered Darcy's law incorrectly, I know if I teach him to apply Darcy's law, he will do it. So showcase yourself in that way, and communication skills, of course, it's very critical.
Thank you, sir. That gives us a lot to think about. Coming to the next question, you have led large teams that mentored many. How important has communication been in your journey, and how did you develop it?
That's a good question. I'll probably build upon what we were talking about in your last question, Arman. So communication skills are extremely critical, and communication is not just being able to present a set of slides. It is also about how you talk to different people. It's about your interpersonal skills. So, and that's one thing that I think student chapters teach you, right? So I mean, let's maybe pick this one up for example. When Ashwarya reached out to me, she had a proper format of her text. You know, you start with your pleasantries, you provide some information on what you're looking for, and then a concluding statement. So this is communication as well. What we are doing right now, Arman, you're asking a question, I am answering. This is communication as well. And when you will be presenting your final project in your fourth year, that's going to be communication as well. So communication skill is everywhere. If you know your subject very deeply and you don't know how to present it, it's of no use. If you know something well and you don't know just how to showcase it, it's not going to serve the purpose. So if someone is lagging communication skills, firstly accept it and then start working towards it. In From my experience, what I've seen is if you share this with your friends or you know your close friends, they can help you become better at it. Maybe try giving a speech in front of a mirror or to a close friend and just ask for their analysis. Do something like what Toastmasters teaches us, right? Try to count the number of filler words that you have used while you were giving a 2-minute speech. Once you start becoming mindful of these things, that's how your communication skills will elevate on its own. And be confident. If you know what you're talking about, I don't think there's any reason why you would lack confidence. So firstly, understand the matter that you're going to talk about well, so that you get the confidence. Now you have trained yourself with speaking in front of the mirror. You don't use filler words at all. I think if someone follows that, they would be a great communicator, and also focus on interpersonal communication as well. So, as I said, when companies visit our campus for different events, for anything in general, you should know how to speak with someone who is from the industry. People from the industry, what I've seen is, since I'm still transitioning into the corporate life completely, I've seen they only like to speak to the point. They would not. They do. Yeah, they usually do not have the bandwidth to talk about a lot of things. So be to the point. Hey, hello, sir. Can you tell me about reservoir engineering? What should I do? Is it just Tariq Ahmed that I should be following? Are there any other options that I can avail to deepen my understanding of this topic? Be very to the point, be very clear about your ask, and I think that's what communication is all about.
So, thank you, sir. That gives us a great perspective. Before wrapping up, I would like to ask one last question. If you had the chance to address every petroleum student across India in one sentence, what would your message be?
That's a good one. I think my message has always been the same to every student that I've interacted with after stepping out of university life. There's a phrase that I like to use: orchestrate the ensuing, which is build for a better tomorrow for yourself right now. Work on your tomorrow right now. That's what have seen has worked wonders for me. has worked wonders for a lot of other people around me. If you want to make it big tomorrow, you have to make it big today with your efforts. So just invest in yourself, invest your most valued possession, your time, in yourself, and just continuously upskill yourself so that you have a better tomorrow.
So, thank you so much, sir, for sharing your journey and experiences with us. I'm sure our listeners, especially students, will take away a lot of practical insight and inspiration. Once again, sir, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much, Arman, and thanks to everyone else who have joined. It was a pleasure. All the best.
Thank you
Thank
so much, sir.
Okay, bye bye.